Welcome back, everyone, and happy Valentine's Day. This is the DGS Presents YouTube channel and our Valentine's Day special. Now, since the early days of D&D, the delicate issue of romance and bedroom activity between PCs, NPCs, or maybe even monsters has periodically come up. So today I thought we'd explore this history in a little more detail, and so I've invited Michael to do a little research and help us with this. So how are you doing, Michael?
Very well, and happy Valentine's Day to you and everyone else out there, all 73 of them or so.
So in the annals of D&D and in the modules and the books and the lore and everything, there have been periodically some famous romances actually that have come up, correct? Like in modules and everything. Michael,
Absolutely.
can you tell us about that?
Yeah, a lot in the books, especially from the Icewind Dale series where you had Dritz and Catti-brie. They had a romance and continue on through the books, which was really nice. And of course, then we had the Dragonland series, and we had Gold Moon and Riverwind in that. There was other romances, but that was one of the main ones. So they were the romantic couple of that. And in the other books you were telling me about, there was also a big love affair between the vampires.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yes, between, of course, Tatiana and Strahd. Now, a lot of people will be familiar with this, even the new schoolers, the fifth edition players, and because this is obviously a very famous romance that appeared initially in the 1983 module I6 Ravenloft, and was kind of the background story behind the entire thing, which was this doomed romance between Strahd von Zarovich and Tatiana Romanova, I think was her name. And he was obsessively in love with her, but his brother, Sergei, who was younger and handsomer and everything, basically swept her off her feet. And the enraged Strahd made a deal with the dark powers to win her back, and in so doing cursed himself to undeath. And finally, the rulership over the domain of Barovia, and then finally, as the mists kind of went from Barovia outwards, it created this Ravenloft fantasy world with all these other realms like Borca and Arkandale and all these other things, which we will talk about in a later episode. But it all started here with Strahd and Tatiana. Now, there are also there were novels too written about this, right? The Ravenloft novels. I, Strahd, Memoirs of a Vampire was a good one. And then there was Vampire of the Mists, which talk a little bit about it as well. So that was a famous one.
Yeah, hey, listen, we've all done crazy things for love. Why not? Now, of course, one of the greatest romance, now this isn't quite TSR related, but from Lord of the Rings. And we've all seen the movies, and of course, we've read the books, and we all know about the greatest love story that all three.
Oh, wait, can I guess before you put it up?
Yes.
Eowyn and Aragorn.
Close. Of course, it was these two. They traveled together. I mean, they camped out together. It's a beautiful love story. And being Valentine's Day, we just want to, kind of point out that it doesn't matter who you love, as long as you love.
I can't quit you, Mr. Frodo.
Exactly.
Now,
Brokeback Mountain for sure, if you know.
Yeah. Anyway. Now, capitalizing on this idea of romance, even back in the 80s, TSR actually released a series of books, these kind of choose your own adventure books that went along with the books that they already had out. What were they? Not Fighting Fantasy. It was their own series. I forgot what it's called now.
Yeah, their Endless Quest series.
Endless Quest. Yes, yeah. Yes. Thank you. And
whoop.
Whoop.
How did that get up there?
I don't think it was that one. But yeah, so back in I think what was it, 1983, they came out with the HeartQuest books. And these were a series of 6 interactive novels published by TSR for younger teenagers. And the series was a spin-off from their main Endless Quest books, as we mentioned, and the worlds of Dungeons and Dragons. And they were billed as a, quote, quest for romance and adventure. The series were intended to appeal primarily to a female audience. Now, back in the early 80s, not too many girls were playing D&D.
You know, that
That I confess to.
huge female audience that we have today. So yeah, I don't know why it failed.
Yeah, so
Makes no sense to me.
each book was illustrated by Larry Elmore. And as this series wasn't in print for long, some of the books are very difficult to find. Aren't the last two like really hard to find?
They
Michael?
are. They had, when they began all of this, they started, the first four were like done and dusted, and they print a lot of them to get them out there into the eager waiting hands of all of those women and girls that were playing D&D and wanted romance as well. Now, I was married at the time, and you're playing second edition, back in the day, and I can get, we were young too. My wife at the time, she was, I think, 19 or something like that. I was like 20, so it wasn't, too weird. It got weirder later, but anyway, and she couldn't be bothered with that nonsense. So I don't know what they were thinking. Like, now the Endless Quest books were selling like crazy. I mean, they released, God, I don't know how many of them.
Oh yeah, the Endless Quest, there were a lot of them. And
yeah,
those are kind of expensive and hard to find now too.
Well, they printed a lot of them, but of course now we're looking about 30 years ago or whatnot. So, or 40. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, like 40 years. Oh my God, I'm so old. But anyway, yeah, but so that's what they did. And so they only, they released 6 of them for sure. But here, we'll pull one up. And most of these stories focused on, of course, the woman. And she had basically had to do something like go on a quest and whatnot. But they always kind of paired her up with like the good guy and kind of like the bad boy in the groups. And so she had her choice. She could either forget both of them and finish the adventure, or finish the adventure and pick one, or so either the good guy or the bad guy. So like if she picked the good guy, she would finish her quest and live happily ever after. But now if she married or kind of went after the bad boy would knock her up and then like leave, and that was the end of the story. So they did a
and
poll.
This is why it didn't last long.
But all the girls chose the bad boys, and that's why it just didn't work out.
But it's got a hilarious little blurb here in the first book. It says, encircling your waist with his strong hands, Torbeck draws you closer and closer. His intention clearly is to kiss you. Your heart beats wildly in anticipation. Should I let him kiss me, you think? His rugged looks charm you irresistibly. Stop it, Chandel. Don't chide yourself. You haven't time for this nonsense, not while my father is yet to be rescued from whoever or whatever took him away. But here in this lovely glade, Torbeck's closeness excites you in a way that you've never before experienced and drives logical thoughts from your mind. Are you both spellbound by the exhausting powers of the malevolent being in this seemingly harmless forest? Or is what you feel real? You must make a decision, and here's the crux of the matter. Will you free yourself from Torbeck's arms and hope for another opportunity in the future, when you are certain no mystic intervention? If you avoid kissing him, turn to page 78. Or if you decide that a kiss can do no harm, turn to page 94. And whichever path you choose, you're sure to find romance and adventure as you discover the ring of the ruby dragon. So, and I'm not going to tell you what happens on page 94 because I actually don't.
Yeah, you can find what? Romance, adventure, and maybe chlamydia. I mean, you got options here. So I'm just saying, I don't know. But I mean, this is great stuff. I mean, yes, it's funny to read it, of course, as adults, but I wonder, if you're, this would have to be for tweens, not quite adults and not children, of course, like that one, because like I said, if I bought that for my then wife, I've had like 5. Every time D&D releases an edition,
you have a new wife?
Get married. And so that's why I was sweating it when they released this new one, because I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to get married again. Look, I am the International Bachelor of Love. So anyway, I can imagine my first wife reading this, and she'd be like, what the fudge is this?
No, this was for the same group of girls that were reading Dynamite magazine. around the
Hey, I
same
was
time,
reading
right?
Dynamite magazine.
I
What are you
still read
saying?
Dynamite magazine.
I still have Dynamite magazines in the 70s room. What are you saying? Maybe Teen Beat. I didn't have a lot of Teen Beat magazines around, let's just say.
Tiger Beat. Wasn't it Tiger Beat? I think it was Tiger Beat.
There's Teen Beat, Tiger Beat.
Oh, there's both. Okay.
We should not know about these books.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. But those were the HeartQuest books, and you can still find them on eBay. And but again, it's going to cost you because they're rare collector's items now.
Well, there's rare and there's rare. So I started digging a little bit on this because I figure they said they only wrote 6, but I started digging in there and I found more on the web. Would you like to see these adventure books?
Sure, I wasn't aware of the other ones.
Yep. These it took a long time to find, but here's like book 7. There it is. So what it seems to me is that they learned that they're maybe going for an older crowd. So we got the quest for the magic wand,
the +2 Hitachi magic wand. Is that what that is?
Yeah, this is great stuff. Or here's another one, book 8, half out, stuck in a portable hole. Pick your, and it's funny. I mean, how portable holes you can get stuck in there and stuff like that. And her friends out there are going to try to get her out, it looks like. Here's a romantic one about a prince and a necklace. So we got the prince and the necklace of pearls. And so, like I said, you could choose your own adventures. He doesn't look like a bad boy. He looks like a really, 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 really nice guy.
He looks like a bad boy to me. But anyway.
I don't know. I think he's just happy to help her.
Looks like a bard.
It could be, but it looks just like he's more than willing to help her find her necklace of pearls easily. They also went into mysteries. Thou art not the sire.
Oh, okay. Thou art not the sire. It's kind of a Jerry Springer episode kind of thing, like paternity test.
They were very big in the 80s, so I think TSR thought that this would be a good path to go down. It seems like Connie wrote this, and I think she probably captured it pretty well. I don't know who did the artwork for it. And the last one I could find was the 2 goblins and a chalice. I know this just seems like a crazy adventure to me, but anyway, so those are the books I found.
I didn't even get the last one, but we don't have to comment on that at all.
I don't know. All I could find, I couldn't find the actual books. I have them all on order, and so they should be good. I mean, especially when you were reading the first one to me, it was getting really, really warm. I was getting nice and steamy. I had to fan myself off. It was just crazy.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, there was some other material that was independently released over the years, and I think there were books and PDFs and stuff with kind of sexy fun for D&D. What was the first thing that came out there, Michael?
Right. Well, this came out in 1993. Now, this was in of course, the earlier days of the internet, and this was only available in PDF, and it was basically for second edition going into third edition rules. And basically it was like a super popular download, so people could play a little bit more mature, adult themed, bedroom fun type of adventures. And I'm not sure how many DMs actually put this in their games. However, it would have really spiced up one of the old TSR's modules, like the N2, the Forest Oracle. Could you imagine what you could have done with that? Just saying.
Yeah, you could have.
By the way, boob count 0.
Oh, okay.
No boobs in it.
Just mental note.
Yeah, just to let you know. And then not too long after this is like 2002. Mm-hmm. They updated. They took, I think, a lot of this stuff, but updated it into another PDF, but made it look more like a hardcover book. It was never released in hardcover, And that was, let me see if I can get that up, another book of unlawful carnal knowledge. Now, this one definitely definitely made for the D20 system. As you can see on here, it's a full thing. And so it was 147 books, pages. The first one was only 74 pages.
I was going to say 147 books.
Yeah, there's a lot to cover. Trust
entire
me.
wall, just the erotica.
It's not unlike my house, not my house, but friends of mine house that I don't know very well. But anyway, so it was 147 pages, only came out in PDF. It was it also had, it was for, definitely a 3 and 3.5 crowd. I would flip through it a little bit. However, there is some content that probably not everyone wants to see.
Yeah, let's not get banned.
But it's not too bad. But boob count, 2.
Okay.
Just 2. And I'm talking pairs, not like 1, which would mean 2. So when I say 2, I mean 2 sets of boobs. I want to clarify for the audience. Okay, so then now this is the one. This is the one everyone's been waiting for. How about it, Colin? You take this over and I'll pull it. Excuse me while I whip this out.
No. So this would be what, the Book of Erotic Fantasy?
Yes.
Okay, and that, let's see, when did that come out exactly? That was like what, early 2000s?
That was 2003. And
oh, here it is. Yeah, 2003, Book of Erotic Fantasy.
There it is.
Printed hardback with 190 glossy pages and good quality binding. A great book that you can proudly place in your on your bookshelves, top shelf if you have children.
Yeah, definitely the top shelf if you have kids. Now, I have no children. However, I would, you definitely want to watch out for that one. But yeah, and that one was pretty well received. I mean, a lot of people bought it. It was really well done, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, I mean, in fact, I have it right here. I would open it, but the pages are stuck together for some reason. But anyway, this is it. This is the one to have. And oh wait, it actually does open. But
Oh, okay.
I was looking here, and you look at some of the spells, and it's just a lot of it was kind of fun just to go through and read, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff in here. The author remarks, I think, in the opening chapters that quote, "The world has changed, and it's time for fantasy role playing to change and to mature." So there is a section in there for sex and the alignments. So for instance, if you're lawful good, you would think that lawful good, you'd just be like chaste, right? But not in this book. Lawful good simply means that obviously you have very close connection with your partner, but your entire focus is to give maximum pleasure to your partner. You're a giver, not a taker. Now, if you're chaotic good, it simply means if it feels good, do it. So you're a little more, freestyle. Lawful neutral, I kiss by the book. Very rules oriented. And then neutral is act naturally. Right? I guess it's I want to do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel.
Yeah, no kidding.
That kind of thing.
Yeah,
chaotic neutral. Yeah, chaotic neutral is it's all about me. So I guess it's the opposite of lawful good. It's basically just like I'm here to receive. Neutral evil is what can I get away with?
Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
And lawful evil also is like, BDSM, whatever. There's rules, right? But it's all kind of evil and twisted and domineering and power games. And of course, chaotic evil just says, F you all. And it actually specifies in this book that those are the people that engage in stuff that's completely reprehensible and,
right.
Nobody thinks is okay, right? Some other things in here. It's a big book, so I'm just going to touch on a few things. But there's sections about the different races, the D&D races or species, or whatever you call them now. and how they view, love and sex and everything. So, for instance, dwarves are like really monogamous and very traditional. The elves are all about love and companionship, but it's funny, it also says that, quote, almost all elves are bisexual.
Of course they are.
I mean, yeah. Uh, Gnomes is just love as a toy. The half orc likes it rough, like the Klingons.
Yes.
And the halflings in here are just total horn dogs. It says love is sharing, so they're just all about like just polyamory.
Yeah, sharing is caring. I remember
Now,
I got sucked into that.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's also some monsters in here, and how they view sex and engage in it. And one of my favorites in here is the doppelganger,
Hmm.
because a doppelganger can read your mind and then change their body and everything to what you want. So think of Mystique from the X-Men. Giants and Ettins are just like totally sadomasochistic, right? It just says the bigger the better. Now there are also sections in here for you actually have to roll with difficulty numbers, right? And DCs,
Right.
challenge numbers or whatever for like sustaining like your amorous activity.
Yeah, I wish I knew that spell sometime.
Yeah, you can sense motive, right, to be used to like test for fidelity, right? Have you been cheating on me? Use your sense motive.
Oh yeah.
Another hilarious thing in here is the chapter on STDs.
Yeah, I studied that chapter quite a bit.
I, my favorite is mummy rot.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
where are you gonna pick up mummy rot? Like, I don't
yeah,
even want to know, man.
you have a lot of explaining to do.
I'm pretty sure it's the
Absolutely.
chaotic evil dude that's like prowling around the cemetery. That's the dude that picks up the mummy rot.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's also azure balls, and then crimson welts.
It's a
Um,
gas. It really is. I well, back in the day, I used to run a lot of games and stuff like that, and I had a series where it was all for the ladies. It was only ladies only groups and stuff like that, and we would have a lot of fun. And of course, then 2016 came along and the lawsuits and the restraining orders, so I couldn't do that anymore. But now that the times are changing, I think I can bring this back into my live games. So it'll be
Maybe,
ladies only
yeah.
again.
There's some new classes in there, like the Divine Celibate, or new spells. Like this is kind of an interesting one. There's a spell called Grope. It's literally Grope, or Love Nest, right? You can conjure up a love nest like in the middle of the forest just for you and your partner.
I love that stuff, man. It's awesome.
And then
Uh,
the last thing I'll mention about this book is there's a table near the end where it's like basically you roll to see how you performed. And if you're a prostitute, you get like silver pieces and stuff and like a reputation if you perform like extraordinarily well. So
oh boy.
so
Oh,
anyway,
by
that
the
that
way,
is the book of erotic
yeah,
fantasy.
and that's the
So
one, and you can still get it at well, it's on eBay or whatnot, but it's worth having. It's very well done. And let me double check this: the boob count 21.
okay.
Yeah,
Seemed like there was more in there. I don't know, but
no, there was 20. I trust me. I looked through this twice just to double check, but now I'm talking
okay.
about like not like I'm talking about exposed bosom.
Right. Now,
So
after
yeah,
this came out, there was some really salacious stuff that came out later, which we will, mention,
yeah,
but we're not going to go into detail on.
there's two more of note, and
Okay.
we'll go ahead and I'll pop those up there.
Yeah, this is the was it the 5E guide to sex and sexual guide to 5E or something like that?
Yeah,
It came
there's
out
two
like what
more.
2018.
Yeah, there's two more.
And then there was the Sex and Dungeons and Dragons, a lewd handbook for 5E.
Yeah, now that one was yeah. Hold on, I'll pull up what I can for it, but
I just show the cover. Yeah, we don't need to.
Right, right.
I remember you sent it to me yesterday. I looked at it. I'm like, wait, what is this? Like, what? What kind of twisted individual came up with this? Okay,
No,
not
this
this
was
one, but the
no,
other
but this
one.
was the clean cover I could find of it.
Okay.
I had the other cover that I censored, but I thought I saw this cover to it. It's virtually the same book with just two different covers, and this was the for like all for 5e things, and we had a boob count of 5, only 35 pages. And then we had the big one. Now, I'm probably not going to pull it up, only because I think that first page is okay. I don't honestly. I don't want to take it.
That was the that was the lewd handbook. Yeah, I don't even think we want to take a chance with that one.
Yeah, I
But
don't know
that
if I want to take a chance with it. But anyway, it was 121 pages, and I mean the artwork in there is really good. I mean, some classic art, some it's really well done. But man, it's like the difference
salacious. Yeah.
between this I would in porno books I would say, well, this is like a 1970s or so Playboy magazine. This Sex Dungeon and Dragons and the Lewd Handbook for 5e. Oh, that's like I can't even probably say the title. I mean, it is like triple X
Like Hustler or
hardcore.
something.
Like even I'm clutching my pearls, but not really. It was awesome, but I'm not going to show it. But they had a boob count of 69. So
That a mistake?
nope, it wasn't. So I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. Now I didn't
How
do
meticulously they put it together.
what I should have done was calculate page number to boob count to get an average of per page on boobs. But if you look at 69, almost 70 out of 121, it's like almost like what? Every third of a page or half a page, every other page is going to have a boob on it or so.
Right, right. I guess
Or
that's the
something like that.
selling point now.
I should have
Certain
done that. I should have
audience.
done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have, and I did not.
But yeah, but
Anyway, that's our
yeah, rewinding a little bit at a much more PG level. Back in the Unearthed Arcana, they came out with a comeliness attribute. Remember that?
oh yeah.
And it was interesting. So pretty much everybody hated that rule. It was just physical attractiveness. They bring it back in the Book of Erotic Fantasy. I think it's appearance or something like that. It's like the seventh attribute. You can do a lot of things with it, but it was funny because back in the Unearthed Arcana, there was this table of comeliness and how high it could go. I guess it's 1 to 25 or something, 25 being godlike. And you kind of had these effects or these things that really beautiful people could have, these effects on other individuals. And like if you had like 18, people would just
Oh sure.
heads would turn and hearts would race. And I mean, you just be like, you would get huge bonuses on interactions. And like, I mean, you have 18, you look like, Raquel Welch or Jude Law, right? Like, but interesting thing about it is, if I remember correctly, I'll have to look this up. And if somebody wants to comment, please do so if I get it wrong. But in Ravenloft 2, the house on Griffin Hill, Virginia Weathermay, who's the love interest, has a comeliness of like 23.
Yikes.
Which means like, if she walked through the market, the entire market would stop.
And
People would just like lose
probably.
their minds. Yeah. I mean, so I always thought that was funny, but that she would have that high of a comeliness, right? She was just like a total goddess. Helen of Troy, right?
Oh sure.
But yeah, but that came and went pretty quickly. And again, it was reintroduced in some of these books and stuff, but that, those are kind of the things you can do with Dungeons and Dragons and with romance and more carnal pleasures here. And as far as role playing and goes, that's been talked to death. We're not going to deal too much with that. I mean, players can romance NPCs can romance players. It can be part of the game. It's as long as everybody's comfortable and cool, if that's the way you want to go with the game, and just
Oh sure.
not have it creepy. then you're all good. But
that's my
yeah,
bad, man. Being
yeah,
creepy. It's awesome. Old man creep.
yeah.
So yeah, but and so basically that's our show. And what I wanted to do is from time to time, WotC will put out their own Valentine's Day cards for you can give out to your loved ones. Like here's one I found, a non-binary bard. So you can.
Is that one of the actual ones?
That's one of the actual ones. Oh yeah, absolutely. So
No,
in 2015, they were handing
I
these
thought that
out.
was you joking around.
Oh no, that's a real card. If you
Okay,
look at the bottom, it says TSR. It's not a fakies. I have no
Watsy.
fakies. They did this one. Let's see. Can you read that? Read that
I
out
will
loud.
bear my heart to you.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Okay, that one's cute. That's fine.
Then I went digging to find more because these are like the only two I could find from the whole TSR thing. So I started doing a little digging,
You mean
and
Watsy?
well, what? Oh yeah,
Yeah, not TSR.
jeez. I told you that I have some type of brain damage. I don't know what it is, but so I started scouring the internet to find some more, and I did. So I want to leave this show with some of the DGS cards, so you can pass out to your loved ones. We're going to have this available at our Facebook page to download, and I think we're going to link it to this page to our YouTube as well, right,
Yeah,
Colin?
I'll put this stuff, yeah, in the show notes where everyone can download it from Google Drive.
Okay, cool. So, and like I said, you just print these out and hand them to your loved ones, and they'll be yours on Valentine's Day. So we got the first one here. So
Kinky.
very, very D&D kind of thing. So just and everything like that. Here's a nice one. Here's another one.
Oh,
A very sweet thing. I mean, it's just like
I'll have to give that to the wife.
yeah, and then some. And then we have this one. You put the cans and cantrips. So,
That one I'm not going to give to the wife.
what's wrong? I mean, it's just like you give so much. That's all. And the last one.
What?
We'll leave this one alone.
So anyway, those are our DGS Valentine's Day, our present to you because we love you so much.
That's right. And if you love us, please like and subscribe. We're doing this just for fun. And unless you have anything else, Michael, I guess we'll wrap this up before we get completely banned from every social media platform.
I am spent.
Okay, everyone. We will see you next time.